John from Ben Motorcycle Adventures, and you're watching 2018 Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route. Early in August, I decided I would go to Idaho and ride their backcountry discovery route from the border all the way up to the Canadian border. Actually, the plan I wanted to fulfill was to leave from Elko, Nevada, ride the last leg of the Nevada backcountry discovery route, and then go all the way to Canada. But things don't always go as planned. Turns out there was a large fire near Jarbidge, which is the ending point of the Nevada backcountry discovery route and the takeoff point for the Idaho backcountry discovery route. So instead of hassling with all that, I just worked around it. I rode from Ferry, Idaho to Pine, Idaho, and just kind of eased my way into the Idaho backcountry discovery route. Rode to the top of Trinity Mountain on the second day. Great ride. And then I got to experience the middle and North Fork of the Boise River, which was some of the most beautiful stretch of river I've ever seen. It was surreal. I saw maybe 2 or 3 people that day, and they were on motorcycles. They were headed the other direction, I assume, riding the Idaho BDR southbound. But what a great second day. Eventually I broke away from the North Fork of the Boise River, went up over a pass, and I remember hanging a right and turning off the main line. Ultimately I came to a gate with a sign posted that said something along the lines of $10,000 fine, 6 months in jail if you go behind this gate. So that was good enough for me. I turned around. I'm a big fan of riding the dirt, so I wasn't really looking to ride a pavement stretch, but that Highway 21 that serpentines down into Lowland was a great stretch of asphalt and a really cool way to end the day. Not to mention, I didn't get a $10,000 fine or 6 months in jail. I arrived in Lowman in the afternoon and had another 10-12 miles east to go towards the Sourdough Lodge. Great place to stay, food, gas, groceries, they've got it all. Third day on the Idaho BDR, left early, business as usual. This particular portion of the Idaho BDR was one that was discussed quite a bit this season. The traditional BDR route took you up Long Creek Road, which had recently been reworked. It had a lot of water bars in it, which isn't great if you're riding with luggage, so a lot of people complained about that. There was also a substantial water crossing at the end of Long Creek Road, and the BDR website had posted or advised you to go around it because of the water bars on the road and because of the creek crossing. Apparently some people had tipped over and flooded their bikes in the creek, but truthfully I didn't think much of it. Truthfully, I never meant to ride Long Creek Road. I was just going to go around it because that's what was posted on the BDR website, but I was too far into to ride to turn around once I realized I was on Long Creek Road. So of course I sized up the crossing, picked my line, and admittedly when I got in the middle of it, a little deeper than I thought. Looks like it moved the front end of the ride a little bit, but we rode it out. After crossing the creek, set my sights on Deadwood Reservoir, and this is one of those long, lonely BDR stretches. I didn't see anybody for probably 50 miles. On these lonely stretches, that's where you hope that your preparation paid off, nothing goes wrong with the bike, nothing happens to you. You know you're a long ways from civilization, from any form of help, so this is when all that preparation really comes into play. I was able to ride through Idaho with a fair amount of comfort. I had a Garmin InReach, which is an SOS beacon GPS. I set up map share so my friends and family could always see where I was at, and I could send text messages even when I didn't have service with the InReach. So I was never really out of touch, and I knew if something went wrong, I could probably get help reasonably quick. So after that long, lonely stretch, I eventually did find myself at Deadwood Reservoir, and what do you know, civilization again. There's people camping, people fishing. Lake was pretty low, being the end of summer, so I rode out on the lake bed a little ways. I suspect it's more of a sight to see when there's more water in it, but good place to take a break and, you know, plot your next move to Yellow Pine, where I was going to go eat lunch. I'm sure I'll remember that ride from Deadwood Reservoir to Yellow Pine for as long as I live, riding alongside the Deadwood River, getting up on top, huge valleys, huge meadows, and not a soul around. It was really cool, and like I said, that ride into Pine, what was it, maybe 50 miles from Deadwood, some of the best dual sport riding you can get. Road was super wide, super fast, which was good because I was hungry and I needed to get to Yellow Pine. Still had a ways to go on the day too. Eventually I found myself at the Yellow Pine Lodge. I got fuel, I got something to eat, and then for me it was ride up over Elk Summit and get to Burgdorf Hot Springs. So that does it for part one. Something you should know about Burgdorf: cabins are rustic, there's no water, there's no power, no heat other than a wood stove. There is running water down by the lodge. Great place to stay, but it is rustic. As always, remember to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, September 23rd through the 29th of 2019, Ben Motorcycle Adventures will be hosting a tour on the Idaho Backcountry Discovery Route.